Leonard? Thank you.
You put that over there.
Yeah, it's gonna move it. You want to block or allow notifications?
Huh?
Block or allow notifications from YouTube?
It doesn't matter. Yes. Yes. Test it, test it. Test, 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 test.
Love the delay. Okay, it's working. I think we're good. Yeah, we can just kind of sit here and turn it if need be, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Oh, we're not to see you. Hello. Oh, it's like that. Okay, yeah, we don't. Okay. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Is anybody in here? Okay, all right. We want to just go ahead and get our meeting open. We have a clean sheet for the council and everybody that's here that you do need to sign. Those that's present, this is for our records. HHA has a sign-in sheet that they ask you to sign out there for their records. So we just ask that you comply and sign those sheets. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and get our little agenda going so we can get out of the way for our special guests. We're so honored to have our very own mayor here, Mr. Tommy Battle. Y'all give Mr. Tommy a hand. We are grateful. I think maybe the last time you were out here that I remember, you were running for your position. So, with that being said, we are grateful for all that you're doing here in Huntsville and other surrounding counties, and we're grateful that you are in attendance our meeting. Okay, and we're also thankful for our very own CEO, our new CEO, Mr. Tony McGinnis, with the Huntsville Housing Authority. Y'all show some love. Y'all know love every day, is it? All right, we're thankful for our Northwest property managers, and staff that's present. We're present as well. Give some love to them. And we also grateful for our Huntsville Housing Authority that partnership with us to all right. Okay, that's better. That's the Huntsville Housing Authority that's partnership with us on today. This is our regular scheduled meeting that we normally have on the first Tuesday of the month, unless the first Tuesday falls on the first or third. You know, people are trying to get their money and stuff, so we schedule it for the second Tuesday if the first or third falls on a Tuesday. Now, with that all being said, and I want to welcome you, I hope everybody feels happy and feel welcome. We're going to be ready for our prayer by our chaplain, Ms. Sally Newton. And let me introduce the board. I'm sorry I didn't do that. I'm Donna Johnson, aka Ms. D, President, Vice President, Ms. Sally Cannon. Hold your hand up, please, ma'am. Second Vice President, Ms. Gloria Wade. Hand up, please. Chaplain, Ms. Sally Newton. Treasurer, Ms. Bessie Hughes. Secretary, Ms. Gloria, Ms. Deborah Stokes. All right, now, all right, Ms. Sally, you have the floor.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for this day. Thank you for being with us, Heavenly Father. We need you, and we can't do anything without you. Heavenly Father, we thank you for just blessing us, Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, without you, Heavenly Father, we wouldn't be here today. Heavenly Father, just continue to bless us, Heavenly Father, in a special way, and bless our families, Heavenly Father, our loved ones, Heavenly Father. And Heavenly Father, bless the sick all over your land and country. And bless the ones in the hospital, Heavenly Father. Bless Bless the sick at home. Just take care of Heavenly Father. Just heal him, Heavenly Father. And Heavenly Father, just be with him, Heavenly Father, and bless this meeting. And Heavenly Father, without you, this wouldn't be your meeting, Heavenly Father. And just bless all our families, our loved ones, their homes and families. And Heavenly Father, and when done all you sign us to do, receive our prayer in your kingdom for Christ's sake. Amen. And we do thank God.
Amen. I'm not gonna use mine because I believe everybody in here, right? All right, great. Now we are ready for our thanks and salary for the prayer. We're ready for our secretary report. Ms. Deborah Stokes.
Hello, everybody. Minutes of the Norwood Resident Council meeting. Meeting called to order by Council Madam President Ms. D at 4:20 p.m. Ms. D introduced herself and the council board for the meeting. She welcomed all the attendants and acknowledged any guests, special guests were. Ms. Deborah Smith of the Health Connection and Ms. Doris. Ms. Sally Newton, the chapel offer prayer. Treasury report was made by Ms. D. August minutes were read by Ms. Deborah Snow. Ms. D asked if there were any questions concerning the minute. Ms. Sally Canton and second by Ms. Sally Newton. Minutes were approved by the majority vote. Ms. D went over the agenda to allow our special guests to come and make their presentations. Ms. D allowed Ms. Smith to extend her presentation on the blood pressure program. She passed out some pamphlets on a dash feeding plan and blood pressure monitoring. She also gave out blood pressure cup and asked everyone to check their blood pressure daily. She informed us we will meet every third Tuesday of each month. Everyone is to keep a journey and bring to each meeting. Ms. Deborah gave out some door prizes and some liquid smoke to use in place of meat. Ms. Deborah did a question and answer statement on salt intake. Madison President thanked Ms. Deborah and Ms. Doris for their presentation and opened the floor for questions on concerns. Ms. D made announcement of upcoming event. Ms. D asked residents to sign up for gift cards and door prize giveaway. Old business community meetings will be held at the Gary Hill Center due to the social distance. New business, Ms. D thanked all present for coming to our meeting. Ms. D acknowledged all present. Acknowledgement were made for September birthday. 2 gift cards, no prize were given out. No refreshments were served. Announcements were made in the month news. Next meeting, October the 5th, 2021. Meeting adjourned at 5:10 p.m. Ms. Me, won't even know my own name. Ms. Deborah Stokes, Assistant Secretary, Ms. D. Johnson, President. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the reading of the minutes. And we're not gonna go ahead with the preliminary of voting on the minutes, but we always know that we accept our minutes as necessary correction.
Good afternoon, everyone. At this time, we're going to introduce our executive director, who will begin the officiating of this town hall meeting, Mr. Antonius McGinnis. Let's put our hands together.
Thank you, Mr. Whitlow. First of all, I want to thank Ms. Lee and Ms. Cannon for inviting us to their regularly scheduled resident council meeting. You all always do a great job. What we want to do is help you guys get more people out. I rode through the neighborhood before I stopped by. I was able to talk to several residents who expressed concern, and I'm saying, you need to be at the meeting. And so hopefully, what I would like for us to do is invite one person out, each person on the council. If you would just really coach one other person to come out and get involved, I think we can make a tremendous impact. But before I get started, I do want to acknowledge Mayor Battle for being here. And when we told him that we were going to start doing these town hall meetings, he said he just wanted to be here. He wanted to show support. He didn't say that he wanted to say anything, but I want to give him an opportunity to do just that if he would like to share a word with us. And so before we get started about town hall, I want to make sure that Mayor Ballard has an opportunity.
Thank you, Ed. I don't know if many of y'all know, but Mr. McGinnis, the Housing Authority, we meet once a month and we talk about what is going on with the Housing Authority, how we're doing in the community, and what we look like. I've not been to one of your meetings in a while. We've been out here some Saturdays, working with some guys working on cars and fixing up some houses. And also we've been here for Village Promise and Boys Girls Club a couple of times. And just have really enjoyed ourselves when we come here. But each of you, I want to say thank y'all for taking your time out this afternoon to come here to be part of this community. We can't do anything without communication. It's a big city. We have 225 square miles of city, and we don't do anything together. We don't know what each other knows. We can't make things better. We can't solve things that need to be solved or look at our challenges either. So thank y'all for coming out. Thank you for being part of this today. And I'll turn the meeting back over to Mr. McGinnis and Tony. Thank you.
I'm going to adjust our agenda just a little bit. I'm going to adjust our agenda just a little bit because we have an opportunity for our resident services team to have an opportunity to share what they do. And before we get into our meeting, I want to ask Patrice to come up and share with you all what resident services is. Any of your team that want to present, well, not present, just kind of share a sentence or two about what you all can offer to the community, because sometimes we overlook resident services, but without the people who are on the ground running every day, we wouldn't be able to do what we do for our residents. So Patrice, I'm gonna ask you to come up and just share about resident services and all that you all provide to the community.
Thank you, Patrice Body, Resident Services Supervisor. And we have several different self-sufficiency programs designed for residents to help you move forward, and if you want to, up and out of public housing. So the different programs that we have would be to our family self-sufficiency, the FSS program. Many of you have heard of that. Who's heard of the FSS program? Yep, okay, great. So the FSS program, is Sakina Bowden is the supervisor for the FSS program, and I'll just talk a little bit, just one sentence about it. But it is a program that's designed to help you meet your goals within a certain time frame. And that's whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to become a homeowner, or if you want to become own your own business, you might want to be a baker. They're there to help you meet your goals. You want to finish school and to be able to move on and have a living wage for your family. Okay, so with that program, there's also a escrow account. So it's kind of like a savings account for the program. And through the program you sign up for, and you'll be able to set up a savings account, and as you pay rent each month, a portion of that rent that you pay, if you're earning a living wage, goes into that particular savings account. So it's a great program. They have a lot of residents that are on their program, a lot of graduates. I think recently they just had a graduate to earn, how much did she graduate with? I think your last one. 16,000? Yeah. So she can move on to homeownership or do whatever it is she wants with that money. And hopefully it'll be a good thing for her and her family. Okay. So we also have our youth and family program. So if you want to know about different programs for your children, after school programs, other activities that are not offered at the Boys and Girls Club, piano lesson. Mr. Frederick Whitlow is our youth and family coordinator. He knows a lot about that. If you want to work on getting your high school diploma, you want to start there, and he can also help you with your family goals as well. Okay, so we have something for everybody. We also have the homeownership program. Mr. Quentin Young is our newest coordinator. He came in, took off running, you know, but he's been with us for a couple of months now. So if you want to have that American dream, you can see Mr. Quentin Young, and he can help you with your financial goals, if that's banking. You might not want to own a home, but you may want to learn more about banking and get your financial goals in order. Okay, so you can have generational wealth also for your family. We also have workforce development. Ms. Lindsay Pollard from back is workforce development. So even if you are looking for a job, or you've been on interviews and you're not sure why you're not getting hired, you can also see Ms. Lindsay Pollard. She can help you with your resume. She can help you with certain job skills, and point you in the right direction of different programs that will be able to help you. And we also have, I think our last program would be the elderly and disabled program. That's what I do, to help their elderly and disabled be able to age in place with different services and resources in the community that will help them be able to live a lifelong life here with the Huntsville Housing Authority. So we have something for everybody, from babies to the elderly. So you can see us, we'll be here in the back. You can see us if you want to know more about our different programs, sign up for our programs, and even the resident council. I work with our resident council here, all of our resident councils, and definitely here in Northwoods. They are awesome. They do a lot of different programs here for the residents, and Ms. Dee and her team are always out in the community looking to bring you resources and different things that will help you or benefit your family. So we have got elections coming up for the resident council. So if you want to be a part of the resident council, it's awesome. We take trips before it was COVID. So, and we have a lot of fun as a team. Okay. So at the end, I'll be able to answer any questions that you have about the resident council and anything else. Okay. Now I'll turn it back over to Mr. Tony McGinnis. Oh, and at the end, we do have refreshments. Okay, so you can see us at the end, get some information and get something to eat.
Also, I wanted to acknowledge our property manager, Ms. Jamia Shelby. Jamia, you have anything you want to share?
Quickly want to say thank you again to Ms. B for letting me come out for her meetings. I've been out for several meetings and things like that. And I want to really thank you for that. I think Northwood has the most awesome resident council of the housing authority. Yay! They do a lot of community and they really help out a lot. And for all the residents who are here, thank you so much for coming out and supporting them. And if you need anything from us, I could probably assistant manager Jenny Craig. Jenny, you stand up, wave everybody. He gets it before the top. And Joe Miles, who is our maintenance supervisor. And Joe said this is his first meeting. He said, so a lot of times with Joe, when you call me with a problem, I'll send Joe because Joe is Mr. Know It All about the maintenance that goes on here at the Housing Authority. So thank you again, Ms. B, and all the resident council. Thank you so much to the residents and to Mr. McGinnis.
So when we started envisioning town hall meetings, we really thought about our residents and the need to do something like this. And the purpose for these meetings is to really, we want to be held more accountable as a housing authority. And the only way we can be held accountable is that you all let us know what's going on, your concerns. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about today is a new department that we are starting called, well, we don't even have a permanent name yet. When we first started, it was gonna be the Office of Resident Concern. But we wanted to take that concern out because we didn't want it to be all negative. So we're fumbling with some names right now: Solution Services, Office of something to help us do better. And it's going to give you all an opportunity to call in to a number or email us and have a quicker turnaround time. We want to be able to solve a solution within 48 hours of you calling in. So we're going to be held accountable for making sure that your concerns, your solutions, your input, anything that you want to be able to provide the housing authority, you'll have a platform to be able to do that, and you should expect a quick turnaround time. So we're going to be launching that new office before October 18th, our next board meeting. So you'll be able to find out more about it. You can ask your property manager about it. You can find us on social media platforms. We'll be able to advertise that new office all throughout our social media platform because we really want to know what's going on in the community. We want to be able to provide solutions, and we want to be able to provide input, and we want you all's input most importantly, because without you, we wouldn't be here. So our job is to serve the community, and we want to make sure that we're doing a better job of serving the community and making sure that all of your needs are met. So we just finished up our strategic plan back in July. And the number one goal on our strategic plan is to help those who want to be self-sufficient become self-sufficient. Our goal is to provide resources in all of our communities: Northwoods, Butler Terrace, Searcy, Lincoln, the Towers. We want to make sure that there are supportive services at every one of our communities that residents can have an opportunity to walk to and get the needs met, no matter what they are. So in this community, what we've started is what we call the Envision Center campus. We have Drake State here with a site that's off. They have a unit that we've taken offline. They're meeting over there 2 times a week. So if you see a sign in the community, and you know somebody who needs to go back to school, want to fresh up on some stuff, please go check them out. They're over there, they're open, they're available, it's free of charge. We're making sure that those who want to get up and get out will have an opportunity to do that. And so we're so excited about that. We have Parks and Recreation right here in this building. They're open Monday through Friday. You all have the opportunity. Many of you take advantage of Parks and Recreation. So please come out and see what's going on in Parks and Recreation. We also partner with the Boys and Girls Club. We have a Boys and Girls Club that's on the backside of the building. Village of Promise, they're taking care of the needs of the young people in the community. They have a preschool program. We also are partnering with the Bartley Bridge at St. Bartley Church, who's providing resources in the community. Many of you know about the partnership with the Church of Highlands and the Generosity Foundation that comes out every Monday and provide resources to the community in that way. So what we're trying to do is have wraparound services so that all the families' needs can be met under one campus umbrella. And so we're excited about it. You all have a public library right here in the neighborhood. All the resources that you can imagine, we're trying to make sure that we're connecting the dots so that you don't have to go outside of the community to make sure that your needs are being met. So those are just a few of the things that we're trying to make sure that you all have access to and that you know about that is right here in your community. And if you need any help or any assistance, please reach out to your property management team. They'll make sure to connect you with every service that's available. And that's one of the reasons I asked Patrice to come, to let you know if there's not a service that we all are connected to, we'll make sure that we create one. Because at the end of the day, like I said, our number one goal is to make sure our residents who want to become self-sufficient, or the residents who are here who just want to live a lot more comfortably, will have the opportunity to do so, and that we provide the resources so that you can do that. So tonight, though, what we wanted to talk about is how we can take our communities back. One of the primary things that I've experienced driving through the neighborhood, and at times people will just pull me over. They recognize my truck and they'll stop. And the first thing they do is they have, I'm not gonna say a complaint, but a suggestion. A suggestion on how we can do things better. And that's why we have these town hall meetings. But this is the thing, we're not gonna be able to do anything without your all support. A lot of things that happen, you have to make sure that we know about. And then it's our responsibility to make that change and that turnaround. If we don't know what's going on, the community is not gonna get better. I just spoke to a lady that has been living out here. She was raised out here as a young person. She left and came back, and now she's just talking about the young people, the youth that are trying to just take over the community. Well, we just talked about all the programs that are provided, because if we don't make sure that our young people get involved in the programs that we have to offer, there's a solution. And I hate to say it this way, but the solution is the 2 new prisons that have been built. And if we don't do something about our young people in this community, that's the solution. Or the other solution is right here on the corner of Pulaski Pike and Oakwood, Nailton Memorial. And we can't continue to watch our children suffer because we are afraid in our own neighborhood. So what we're going to have to talk about is how we can provide solutions for them to get a job, go back to school, try to do something productive. And that's one of the reasons why we are trying to flood the community with resources. If our young people can get the necessary training, they can apply for all the jobs that have come to Huntsville. Mayor Battle has fought for plenty of jobs to come to Huntsville so that individuals can make a decent, livable wage. That's one of the ways of individuals getting out of the community. They have to be able to make a livable wage. And it's not that hard anymore. They're not, most of the companies that I talk to, they're not asking for individuals who graduated from college. They're not asking for PhDs. They're asking for individuals who want to learn, who want to grow, and who can stay off their cell phone. If they can stay off those cell phones, they can work anywhere in the city. That's the number one thing a lot of individuals are trying to make sure that we can do. So if we can provide the workforce, the opportunities are plenty in this city. The opportunities are plenty, but we have to work together. So just like we want to be held accountable, we're going to have to depend on the residents to make sure that you all are doing your job, to just voice your concern. We were just having a conversation before the meeting started. There was apparently some defacing of property and signs in the neighborhood. And somebody saw it, but nobody wants to communicate who did it. Because that young person probably could be connected to somebody. But in order for the community to get better, we have to start holding individuals accountable. We can no longer sit back and be passive and expect something to change without us being a change agent. So the solution is right here in the room. We have everything that we need to make Northwoods a better community, to get back the respect that Northwood once had. We have all the resources right here in the room, but it's going to take us working together to make sure that we do this together. We talked about the community programs. We talked about the Office of Resident Concern. We want to make sure that you all get the resources that you need. Last but not least, I want to be held accountable. I'm not just here to make sure that, I'll say it this way, I'm just not here just to be a pretty face in the suit. I want to make sure that this community is better. That's my goal, that's my passion, not just this community, but every community that we serve. Because I think back when I was a young person growing up over in Spartan Homes in Masonport. It was the supportive services. It was the Boys and Girls Club. It was the Parks and Rec. It was the opportunity for me to go somewhere and what happened for me, I caught on that I could play basketball. And it was that village that helped me grow. And you all have your own village. You all support each other better than anybody else in the community. Every time I come to a resident council meeting, I see some of the same faces. You all are the community, but you have to invite us into the community. We have to be held more accountable so that we can see the next generation of young people have an opportunity to get up and out and come back and to serve, because that's what it's all about. It's all about us helping create a new generation of young people who will have an opportunity to do great things in their own community, in their own city. So one day we can sit down, relax, and see that next generation come and do the things that they need to do so that our communities can be better. So we have an opportunity for questions and answers. We have, I don't know if we were able to write down any questions, get any feedback, but I'm gonna be brave for about 10 minutes and entertain any questions that anybody may have. Any concerns or any situations that, as a group, we have our resident management team, the resident services team. If there's any questions or comments that you all have right now, feel free to ask. Oh, we do have it written down. And if you don't want to verbalize it, write it down, some of the team. Okay, this is a question that I knew somebody was going to ask, and I'm glad you asked that. It says, why is it that the grass cutting crew don't blow off the grass on our porch? We are elderly, and some of us can't sweep. That's something that we will make sure that we take care of. We pay big money for these companies to come into our neighborhoods and cut grass. We really try to do a better job of holding them accountable, but this helps because now we can go directly to the individuals, the companies who are cutting your grass and make sure that's something that gets done. So hopefully things will change. And I'll tell you what we're going to start doing next year. There was a point in time where the housing authority used to cut their own grass. And so that's something that we're going to get back to. This will be the first community that we do that. We're going to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable and make sure that we make our neighborhoods look nice and presentable again. I know sometimes contractors have so many contracts that they take us for granted. So Northwood, starting next summer, we will have an opportunity to cut our own grass. And if you have young people or people who are trying to get on their feet that want to work, we'll put them to work. So be looking for that in the very near future. Okay, this is something that I want to make sure that everybody in the room understands. It says we are having a problem calling maintenance. When I got back to the housing board, I understood that we have a third party person who handles all of our calls. And what we've been trying to do is meet with this company. We've had some level of success, meeting with the company, making sure that their turnaround time is a lot quicker than it used to be. So if you call maintenance, make sure you get an invoice number, or what is it called? Work order number. Make sure you get that. That way you'll have an opportunity to kind of follow up on that work order number. Don't just call and hang up the phone. Get your work order number. That way you can hold us again accountable, and then we can hold the third party company that handles all of our calls accountable. So make sure that you get a work order number. Just write it down somewhere, and when you call Jamia or Jimmy, they'll be able to say, this is the work order number. We'll be able to follow up, and we'll see why it didn't get to us. A lot of times it's not, and I'm not trying to pass blame, but a lot of times the reason it's taken 2 or 3 times is because they're not getting the information like they need to. It's not like it used to be. We used to have a central office location where all the calls came to one location. We had people on the ground ready to turn those calls around. Now we use a third party company, and I think that company is in San Antonio. And so we have to do a better job of communicating. So we've been meeting with them at least once a week. Once a month. Okay, and this is a great question as well. Can housing or Huntsville Police Department install security cameras on our streets? I've met with Chief McMurray about this. And there are grants out there that we're going to work together to try to install some cameras in the community. There are some that have helped. I don't know if I should say where they are, but there are some, and Mayor, do you want to talk about that?
If you haven't seen them, you're not supposed to see them. There are some cameras out in the neighborhood right now that are there to protect us, so we can see what's going on at night. But if the big banks that they're watching at night, and it can tell you, or they can go back and look if something does happen and see who was there at the time. We are working on ways to get more and more cameras in, because it's just policing of tomorrow. When somebody can sit and watch, if they see something, they can respond to it very quickly. I think it's a lot safer for our people if we can respond quickly to things and see that happen.
And so, yeah, we really trying to work on that. Because again, this is security for our residents, and we've talked about hopefully being able to do more of that here in the near future.
And the problem, about calling the maintenance man, when you call maintenance, you always get somebody that can't speak English.
And that's what we're working on. Like I said, I think that group is out of, in another state, closer to the Spanish-speaking country. So we're gonna do a better job of communicating with them and making sure that we do some better follow-up. What's the address again?
Probably 8 Canada.
2903 Canada.
Okay, all right.
I'm a disabled veteran, and every time I go outside, there's water out there, I gotta walk in the mud. And I'm sick, I got cancer, and I don't wanna fall in the mud. My wife was there twice already. And nobody will do anything about it.
We'll make sure we y'all got that address taken care of. All right. Right here.
The first is, I think the suggestion wants to be great, but I think it would be better. We have an advocate, a community advocate, to actually walk around with them and talk to the people and listen to what they have to say. And listen to what they have to say. I think we get a lot of suggestions or a phone call or anything like that, because that's just the way it is. But if you've got a council, which is great, but you need someone that can listen and they feel that they're strong. I've talked to a lot of people that you don't neighborhood. They don't know everyone on the council. Sometimes they're in another council. And of course, there is a stigma because the office is the office. So they don't feel that just go there and talk about it. To address the second thing, which is talk about our young people, under the age of 25. Programs are very, very good. I work with them, and they're great. But in this particular neighborhood, until you change the culture, it's not stay the same. And the way to change the culture is to change the thinking. Which means we're going to need more people, more Black people, to share and show these young men and women how they can. The jail situation, if they have been arrested, if they have a felony, or if they have pending felony, they cannot just go get a job. Right? That's not going to happen. So we address that situation as well. As far as something that we say 99, where they can learn anything, I try to say. I think a lot of the young men would work if they could. But they can't. And not least, let's get them before they get to that point where they've got that. So I've worked with and working with 100 Black people. I have spoken with their family. And we want to do something where, we've got 4 churches, 4 African-American churches that claim this neighborhood. And I'm going to be the first to say, where are they? Okay? They're not walking the streets. They're not seeing their vans pick up the young people. But the other churches are. That's not it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so I just want to address that one comment you made. Prevention. And that's what I'm talking about, especially these young people who don't have a record yet, who are still out here in the community. There used to be a time when we had that strong village where everybody could talk to kids. And I know we can't do that now. But we have to make sure that together with us, the resident council, you all, we're gonna have to do something because we're losing our young people faster than we've ever lost them before. They don't listen to everybody. But this is the thing that I heard a long time ago. Rules without relationship lead to rebellion. We got to start building better relationships. And we can do that by starting in our own home. And if our kids in our own home will listen, then they might be able to influence their friends. And when I say in our own home, we all know young people in the community that we can talk to. Everybody in this room knows somebody that we're respecting, and we can make a difference with that person. Then we can start to make a difference in the community, because we cannot continue to be afraid in our own neighborhoods. Last time I was here, people said they don't want to call the police because of consequences. So what do? You know, and we talk, you know, we have a town hall so we can talk. We cannot expect the property manager to come and kick somebody out of a unit that they haven't seen any activity. They just can't do that. So the responsibility for us to work together is now. The time is now. We got to start, and with this office of resident concern, it's going to give us an opportunity to, if you don't want to go to the police department or you don't want to go to the property manager, it'll give you an opportunity to send an email, make a phone call, and then we will make sure that somebody checks on that situation, whatever it is. We will make sure that somebody checks on the situation, because here's the thing, we all know that 9 out of 10 of the incidents that happen in the community happen by somebody that's not on anybody's lease, that don't live out here, and those are the people that we have to make sure that we get rid of. They come in the community, and they've been doing it for years. They mess it up for everybody. Don't belong in the community, but what we do is we just let them continue to come in day after day, wreaking havoc in our neighborhoods, giving our neighborhoods a bad reputation. And we gotta do better. I know Jamia said she put 3 or 4 people on trespass, last week? And so when you know somebody's on trespass, just pick up the phone, say somebody's out here is on trespass. It's kind of a double-edged sword, because we're trying to save our kids, but at the same time, we're trying to have some peace where we live. So sometimes that means you got to tell your family member or your next door neighbor, because the only way you get your community back is getting your community back. That's the only way. You got to start letting people know that a change is going to happen. I talked to a resident earlier today about trash being in yards. People living like there's no trash cans in the neighborhood. We got to start finding people for trash in yards. We got to start holding the community accountable, because that's the only way the community is going to change. And it's up to all of us in here to do that.
Well, you're talking about the paper. A lot of times it doesn't be that person's paper. Normally it's ruined from everywhere else. Like sometimes in the back, they just put out trash, trash is everywhere. And you know, there's nothing we can do about it, but we should be able to be charged for it because it's not ours.
That's a tough one.
I know.
That's a tough one.
It is hard to find.
It's hard to
We
find.
don't do it a lot unless we can actually say that person's trash.
Yeah.
You know, you put a trash bag or something like that, right out behind the door.
Right.
You know,
But
that
you even got.
blowing trash, you know, it's.
You even got people got scared right back over on the trash can, on the floor, on the ground.
Yeah.
Because one lady I know, I don't know if she still stay there, but her garage has been there for 2 months, I know, on Canada.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm talking?
Isn't that fair? I didn't know that.
Oh, because I know it was stinking, I'm telling you, and the garbage was so full of water, nobody could empty it. Okay.
says, when will the bushes be cut down that are at the camera on the back of the board? 2706. I heard that they were out cutting bushes October 1st. So what happened, we've had several people who thought that they could cut the grass at Northwood. But when they got out here to Northwood with a push mower, they realized that they can't cut Northwood. So we've had 4 different contractors to cut the grass in Northwood and Northwood Addition. So we're starting to get a handle on it. They started cutting the bushes October 1st. And so hopefully they'll be able to maintain a lot better. And that's one of the reasons we're starting with Northwood, making sure that we do it so we can hold ourselves accountable. So that will get addressed and taken care of. Okay. I think we talked about this, but I want to make sure that we address it again. It says, why are late payments due every month? So if there's somebody that needs assistance, we will address that. But late payments have to be made. I thought we had.
So right now, I did kind of look at that, but right now, when you go to get that assistance, the emergency rules, COVID relief. And so generally, it's looking at conditions that we're paying for you to get add on, when you pay on time, but they're not paying rent right now for anybody unless it's that COVID rules.
Okay. So the people that we were going to are trying to get caught up with helping those folks who are behind because of COVID and emergency relief. So we're working on it. Okay. What address is that? Got it. Let me address that. The grill situation is not something that the housing authority put in place. It came from the fire department. There's a city ordinance that anybody who lives in an apartment complex, not just public housing, but any complex throughout the city, are not supposed to have barbecue grills. And the reason for that is because people have made some unwise decisions. They've been barbecuing on balconies. They've been doing things that put their neighbors at jeopardy. So the fire chief has mandated that no one in the city of Huntsville that lives in an apartment can have a barbecue grill. So that's something that they did. We just followed that. And so they came to us and asked us if we wanted to lift it. And they said, you can lift it, but you all will be responsible if there's an insurance claim and you may not be able to be refunded because of the ordinance that's in place. So that's why the letters went out a couple of years ago, because there's an ordinance in the city that says nobody anywhere in the city. Now, you can have them in some places, but they're going to get fined. And that's just a problem you don't want to deal with over and over again. So that's something that came through the city. That's not the housing authority. So we're gonna make sure that I think Jimmy said he knows about her situation. And I'll say this too. Our units are so old that some of the problems that we've had for years just because of the way they were constructed. It doesn't make it right, but we'll try to do all we can to address those situations that have been here for years. But we have a great team of folks who are really trying to make life a lot better. And they'll get on it, and we'll make sure that we follow up to make sure it gets done. That's what I'm talking about, the water problem. All right, this is the last one. This right here really is something it goes back to the problems that we're having in our community. Why do some residents have people staying with them that are not on their lease? Because they ain't got no resident. Okay. But it's not right. Bottom line. And most of the time, those are the people who are causing problems in the community. The people who are not on the lease, who don't have any accountability, those are the ones who create the most problems. So what we have to do is let somebody know. And people get slick. They know how to get rid of stuff when we have inspections and whatnot. People who are problems have to go. It's just the bottom line. They have to go. Because if they don't go, our communities are not going to get any better. This won't be the last time we have town hall. I ask everybody here who's a resident to make sure you invite somebody else out to the next meeting. We have a couple more questions before we go. Invite somebody else out, because I'm gonna tell you something. The reason the mayor was here is because we're holding everybody accountable. That's why he showed up. We're gonna hold everybody. We can't do it by ourselves. We can't do it by ourselves, and I think they understand that now. So he's gonna be here a lot more frequently, and we're gonna start holding people accountable, but we gotta hold ourselves accountable. 2 questions. Garbage and other folks, that's just disrespect, first of all. And I don't know what we can do. We can't see it, but how do you address that? I don't know. A lock? You can do that?
How do you empty it when the trash guy comes in?
Oh, no, you want to lock your garbage in order for it to be picked up, but if I can speak for myself, I was having that problem. My neighbor put her garbage in my can, but I was not at home. And hers was either full or laying on the ground or whatever. But I ran to Home Depot, got a long lot, and went through the hole, and you have a hole on top of the can. And put the lock down in that hole and locked it down. We also locked it off. We have to lock it in the office. So they were putting garbage in our can space. And somebody switched out the can. We had an event, this past Saturday. Somebody switched out the can, had their can on our side, and they're really, I don't know what, like a person up in there. But anyway, I got the can, I put the can back, and I just, when I got up, I come back, put the lock back on it, and then back at the porch. A lot of people are not taking their cans back. They're leaving them out there, wind blow them over, cars hit them, whatever. So, that's one way that I found out for myself to keep people put their garbage in my house.
We gotta work on that. That's just a respect thing. We gotta be better neighbors. And when you somebody, I know you don't want to confront somebody over something like that, but we gotta be better neighbors. Last question. All right, well, you can't say that. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
And one of the things that I ran into, several things, handicap people had asked if they have one or two signs of at least one or two, like on one street that went to their car. Because some people are saying people do not realize that they're coming, they have safety, and they are coming to our cement. Then, I bring my mom home, anything, a lot of times, it goes away. And I'm thinking, well, I'm thinking for somebody that does this, that, the handicap doesn't take that up. I agree. I didn't always, it has not been good.
So, I think what we have to do again, the roads belong to the city.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah, so I think what we have to do is address the city on that.
Yeah, that's what it is. I didn't have no feedback from, because I had paid some of the residents, and they attacked me,
Man, I wish you would ask that question when the mayor was here.
well, I'm probably there, but they're not, they ain't no problem with me.
Because I think what else we need to do, the speed bumps or whatever.
Right.
So we call them about stuff like that to hold them accountable. So I would call them and I'm gonna tell you, it has more weight as a resident or a concerned citizen about parking on the street. So I would call them. They think you all can't do the same time. And then no one has come to talk to me, which I know it, but it should be that if someone is parked on, they got all the vehicles, it's something on that part. But my concern is raining up, phone or call or whatever, I bring my mom home, I sit her down, say to get parked. I agree.
And a lot of men that we can't walk. And I know my stop, I'm always stop. That they do have students or handicapped, but they don't bother with like,
We can't call the city, I call the city, I live on Conda, and they live in how they clean the shores, and they got some water down.
Well, that's because they blowing out the grass in the street, it's going right down in the gutter, and can't nothing else go down in there. I see them do it all the time.
So we'll make sure we call and we help with that. But it makes, everything that the residents, what you all do, especially for the city, when you call, it weighs more. It's a lot more power than us. Last question, for real.
I just want to thank the Housing Authority for my beautification award in my yard.
So that's something that you can look forward to in the future. And Jamia was one of the first ones to get that started. Every neighborhood has the opportunity to do it, but Jamia and her leadership. And I'm gonna turn it over to you, Ms. D. Thank y'all again for showing up.
It's not really a question, the council would like to meet, with you one-on-one like we did in the past, this Monday, the council would meet with the CEO, to discuss, other things, concerning stuff of the residents. We have our meeting as well. And also, I just want to say that, the smoking of cigarettes and drugs is still going on a lot in the community. And, when you're coming in, you can smell the smell of the drugs and everything, so people are not adhering to, the no smoking policy on the 25 feet. And I don't know if they ain't gonna do 25 feet with no whack back. They just gonna smoke it wherever they feel like smoking. So that's happening.
residents, are parking on the grass on the weekends when they know that the staff is not here. And they are parking so long, they're still in the grass. So if you ride down the alley, you will see grass dying. That's where they're parking.
So I would recommend this for that. Take a picture
Yeah, I did the picture thing.
and send it.
If you take a picture of the car, the license plate, and where it's at, you gotta have that.
Don't come get that.
We can buy them $40, we do it all the time.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, thank y'all. We appreciate it. And I thank President Sutherland. Go ahead. Real quick.
Can't get it.